Angelo, publisher of ArtGalleryAmerica magazine, and today I am interviewing Seay, lead scenic in the film industry. Seay, can you tell us about some of your past work and present work?
Yes, I've worked on the last two episodes of Hunger Games, the last two films. I worked on Valor, the TV series, Satisfaction, Complications, several other TV series, Flight, the movie with Angelo. I just finished Peter Street Trilogy, Son of the South, and a new film that's coming out, and work on Stranger Things and several other TV series and shows.
Can you tell us a little bit about this piece here, what it was used for?
Yeah, this is one of the pieces that I helped create. They came to me about doing doors for a prison for the last episode of Stranger Things, and so this is completely built out of MDF. There were 9 doors, and they wanted to look pre-rusted, very old metal doors. So I created a couple color variations over top of it to create the kind of gray tone of the metal, and then I started adding rust to it in various areas and stuff like that, traditionally in the way that it would normally rust as an old door. This can be seen in the last episode of Stranger Things in season 3.
How long did it take to build this?
Well, they had 9 doors. It took them about a day and a half to build the doors. The doors came to me once I primed them and based them out. It took about 2 days to do the completed project of all 9 doors.
So how long have you worked on Stranger Things?
Well, this will be my 3rd season, and we're getting ready to start the 4th season later on this year. So I'm looking forward to season 4.
What were some of the challenges that you met with working on this project?
Well, there's always a challenge in any production that you work on. And this production, there were several challenges of creating the electrical fires, the illusions of explosions, circus. We have a whole entire carnival scene, so we had to create signs and new game booths and additional artwork on some of the actual carnival rides and stuff. So all the sign work. So all the sign works were all hand painted, and something that the production really loves is that hand painted look.
Describe what working in the film industry is like.
It's very varied. It's very hard, and everybody has sort of a singular kind of field that they work in, whether it's electrics, whether it's makeup, whether it's costume, whether it's rigging or the cinematography. So there are so many department heads and so many versions and so many people that you have to work with. So you work your schedule around everyone else's schedule. So everyone has to work with each other. I work very closely with the production team, with the production designer and art director, and trying to create what it is that they want in a set. And then I work with set deck in helping them fine-tune all the props and accessories that go into every set, and to making them look period and look aged or look new or whatever they need to be, or the color form. So there's a variety of things that we have to do.
So how do you kind of keep a schedule, keeping up with everything, working on different locations? I mean, how do you manage that?
Well, we have a crew of people, so there's always a crew of people we assign to different locations and stuff. I'm normally in charge of sets that are on stage, but often I do a lot of locations and stuff. And with Stranger Things, a lot of the sets are actually on stage. So in this season, the Russian lab, the interiors of the homes, all of those things are done on stage. And where people would assume that we would go out to a location to film a house and do the interior and exterior, we film exteriors of the house, but the interiors of all the homes are on stage. So once they film the actor entering the house on the location, then they go back to the stage and film the actor coming in the door. So it's an interesting kind of concept where everything is contained within one area that they can use.
So what attracted you to the film industry?
I grew up with a theater background. I did a lot of opera, designed sets for ballet companies, and a lot of theater stuff. But when the economy sort of tanked a little bit for the arts, it became hard to get positions like that. So the film industry was alternative kind of industry to go to. And then I also discovered that it also means a pretty steady job, pretty steady income. And a lot of people are afraid of the industry because you'll work for 8 months in one production and then you're over. It's over. And then you start on another one. So with me, it's been a steady thing. I'll do one production to another. So when I end one production, like we'll do one season of Stranger Things, and I'll do a film in between and then go back to Stranger Things. And that's the case with this year. As soon as we finish Stranger Things, we went into Fear Street Trilogy, and now I'll go back from Fear Street Trilogy into Stranger Things. But in the midterm here, when we end next week on Fear Street, I'm going to be joining a crew on another film production for a temporary hiatus before I actually start Stranger Things again.
So what kind of travel, has your job taken you to? What kind of places?
Well, in my case, I've stayed in the United States most of the time. A lot of North Carolina, New Mexico, California, Oklahoma, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi. A lot of productions are housed in these different areas and stuff, so I've gone to all these areas for a run. Most of the time I stay here in Atlanta as a home base and stuff, though. But it's been all over Georgia, though.
Do you remember the first set you built, and was that like a learning process, or did you gain a lot from
it? It was very much a learning process. The very first film that I actually worked on was a small film called Honey Dripper with my friend Eloise Stammerjohn. And it was a little bit of a challenge. It's a period piece. It's a John Sayles film. It's a very kind of indie type of film. So I had to do an enormous amount of sign work and banners and murals on the buildings, and it all had to look old, sort of period piece in 1950s, 1960s. Aged a lot of cars down. We actually painted some trucks and cars. I mean, there's a variety of things you have to do, but it's a whole idea of making everything look like what that period is.
What is the longest project, like the longest period of time you've worked on a project?
Hunger Games was probably one of the longer ones because it was about a year process. So each of the Hunger Games films took about 6 to 7 months of it. I did 2 at one time, so it's about a year. Most small films are about 3 months, 3 to 4 months in the process. Most TV shows, Netflix productions, which I tend to work on a lot, run 6 to 8 months.
So what is your favorite part of being a scenic?
Well, I think it's the challenges. I mean, there's always a challenge. You never know what you're going to do. You may be building a faux cave. You may be creating a science fiction kind of atmosphere. You may be doing something futuristic. So you have to make everything look polished and beautiful. The metal work, like a spaceship or something, has to look pristine. It's never really built out of metal, but it's made to look like it's metal. So there's a lot of detail that you have to fine-tune, that you have to do with your craft to make everything look like what it's supposed to look like.
So when you're approached by like a film company, what has already basically taken place, and then you step in and go from there with the direction that they give you? How does that work?
Well, usually I'm contacted. I'm on a roster list of people who are lead scenics. A designer will contact me and ask for an interview, portfolio in an interview. And in some cases, not a portfolio because I'll just be hired on just on my background. But we'll go in for the talk. They'll discuss with me what the production is going to entail, whether it's going to be futuristic or period or whatever it is. They'll give me a couple examples of what it is that work-wise that I would have to do with my crew. And then we wait. Once you're hired, you have to wait for pre-production to begin. So first, there has to be something built before we can actually paint. So usually we set up shop. Once the shop is set up, then we wait for construction to build the first couple sets, and then we go in and make the sets look like what they are supposed to look like, whether they're 1960 or 2000 or whatever period that they want them to look like. Whether there's wallpaper, whether there's mud, whether there's stone, whether there's rock, anything that we needed to do. So it's my job to coordinate with the production designer in creating the look that they want for production.
Well, that sounds interesting. Thank you, Seay, for giving us some insight on the film industry.